Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something very important. Vital that you get this right and make sure you realize it for your team. We're going to be looking very in depth at the type of stats you need on a striker. If you like this type of video, we might end up doing it for a midfielder and defender moving forward. But I think for forwards, it's more important than any other position. Honestly, some of this seems like common sense, but you'd be amazed the amount of teams I run into when I'm playing against people or where I'm coaching, where it's very clear people don't realise this. Now, I want to say as a caveat before we get far into this video, Ultimate Team is about your experience, how you want it to be. So it might be simply a case of, yes, you could use the more meta players, the players who are going to help you get better results, but it might be that you really like Peter Crouch, for example, or you might really want to use, you might be from Saudi Arabia, really want to use Alawiran as a striker. He's obviously good on the game, but there is better. It might be that growing up, some of these players really good, but not as good on FIFA. Might be that you're a Wolves fan and Adama Traore is the best player you get on FIFA most years, so you really like him. But these aren't always the best examples. But like say for Coman, good centre back, but he's not a top tier centre back. But it might be you're a Dutch fan, you might be old enough to remember Coman played, and you might really like the prospect of using him on the game. There are elements like that. But obviously on this channel, one of the main things that I'm here to do is to try help you guys get the best results possible. A key part of doing that is helping you guys have the best team. FIFA Ultimate Team, a key part of it is the team building process. So if you don't have a good team, it is really going to hinder you. So I'm going to try my best in this like little mini series, I guess, to really help you get the most out of strikers. When I say strikers, with left wing, right wing, centre forward, lam, rab, honestly, for the most part, left and right mid. If you play a 3-5-2, you do need left and right mids who can defend a bit more. But generally speaking, the type of players we're on about here are going to be any form of attackers, the stats you need for them. You'll probably, I'm using, this is normally what I play 4-3-2-1 in. So this is my 4-2-2-2. But normally for that, I would rather use 4 attackers. Valverde is a makeshift right now. However, this team was built more for 4-3-2-1. What I would say, though, is that I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, what I would say is you can be a bit versatile and use players in different positions, but you are going to limit yourself. So Ginola is a pretty perfect player on the game. The things we want with Ginola that he's got a 5-star, 5-star. 5-star, 5-star is the key to being a top tier attacker on the game. You can't really be a top tier attacker on the game if you have less than 4-star in a stat. If you've got a 3-star weak foot, it is going to massively limit what you can do as a player. So for people who don't know, weak foot, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The worse star your weak foot is, the worse your weak foot is. But effectively, when you have a 4-star weak foot, it makes a player 85% effective on that foot. So if you had someone with 99 finishing and a 4-star weak foot, on their weak foot, they will basically play like they've got 84, 85 finishing. It goes down 15% each time. So if you had a 3-star weak foot, 70 finishing. 2-star weak foot, 55. 1-star, 40. So anything 3-star or lower is going to be making even the players with the highest stats in the game have 70 or lower. That's just not reliable. For attackers, it is very important that you are able to be consistent. FIFA is definitely a game of RNG at times. FIFA is one of the few like highly like competitive games where there's lots of ranked play, and you can genuinely play better on this game and lose. If you do everything perfect, you won't really ever lose on this game, but you can play better than someone and still get unlucky. That definitely happens on FIFA. There are things you can do, though, to put the odds in your favour. Obviously, that's things like taking your chances in the most efficient way, squaring it for open net tap-ins, learning the right tricks, using better players. And a key part of that's weak foot. Can you score from 40 yards with a 3-star weak foot? 100%. Will you score from 40 yards with a 3-star weak foot often? Definitely not. I mean, you won't on a strong foot. But the same thing goes, if you're shooting across goal with a player who's 5-star weak foot from the perfect position, it's going to go in every time. near enough. If you shoot across goal on freestyle weak foot, it's going to be way less consistent. This also affects things like shot power, long shots, vision, short pass. Basically, any stat that affects the accuracy of when you kick the ball, weak foot is going to affect that. So a high weak foot, you really need at least 4-star. But honestly, for the most part, the very best attackers are all going to be 5-star. It makes a huge difference. There are going to be some exceptions. Tired today. Team near Mbappe. He's still going to be cracked on his weak foot. Pele, Messi, Haaland, Team of the Year. These cards are still going to be very, very good on both feet, but you will still notice a difference on the weak foot. But I'm not saying weak foot you cannot get away with a 4-star, but it will limit your player a little bit. And the other thing is, when you're not predictable, when you can go on either feet, people are going to be a lot more scared when defending you, and they're not going to be able to defend you as well because you're just going to be so less predictable, and they can't show you onto one foot. It's just like when you play against someone in real football. If you show someone onto their weak foot and they can use both feet, you're a bit screwed. Skill moves. Skill moves and weak foot are the two most important things, really. A lot of people don't use skill moves well. Even if you are not good at skill moves, having a player who can do skill moves can be enough to scare someone into knowing that there is the potential for you to do a skill move at some point and catch them out. A lot of people aren't very good at them, but just having the ability to do them makes a big difference. For me, the easiest but most effective 5-star skills: ball roll scoop, reverse flip flop. The Elastico is pretty good. There's quite a few, but just being able to do them and catch people out of them makes a big difference. Again, a bit like weak foot, 4-star is a minimum, so you can do a lot of the basics. Scoop turn's very important. You can do a running scoop turn with 5-star skills. But if you're using a player with any less than 4-star skill moves or weak foot, it's going to make you so much more predictable and hinder you a lot against good players. I would say at pro level, like the really high ranks, skill moves matters more. Having 5-star skills to unlock defenses and catch people out, but weak foot is obviously important as well. In terms of height, honestly, I'd say 6'2" and under. You don't really want the massive guys for the most part in this game just because they can be a bit clunky. There are some exceptions, especially as we get better stats though. Pace is obviously key. I would say at this point of the game, a player needs to be able to get to at least 95 pace after the chem style. Sure, you don't have to have it. You can play in different ways, but through balls are so good this year, and defenders are really quick at this point that if you don't have the pace, you're not going to get in as much. Movement is a very hard stat to see. That's the tap position. See how important it is. But I would say you obviously want it higher. Finishing and shot power are definitely the two key shooting stats. Long shots aren't that great in this game, so you can use a player with low long shots because finish and shot power matter more. In terms of the shooting traits, finesse shot doesn't do a lot outside of the foot shot. Sure, it can allow you to go for a few more travellas, but it's not as effective as it was. Forward, vision, short pass are probably the two more important ones. Long pass affects more than long chip through balls. You're not going to be doing that too much with forwards, but vision and short pass are going to be useful. Agility, balance, dribbling are very important for how good a player is on the ball. Reaction's hard to measure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be useful. Ball control, I don't really notice this too often, but most players have good ball control anyway. High composure, that's going to affect, basically composure affects how, when a player's close to you, how much it affects the shot, the pass. So high composure means it's not going to be affected too much. Honestly, I don't think strength does a lot on this game, so I won't worry. Not strength, aggression. I don't think aggression really does anything on this game. Strength is quite important, so you want decent strength, but you can get away with it with small players who are very good on the ball. Stamina, you want at least 80 plus at this point. Jumping and heading, not great on this year's game, but if you've got it, it's definitely a plus. But the keys really, agility, balance, dribbling, composure, finishing shot power, pace, and then 5-star, 5-star. If you can get these on a player, you are going to have a baller who's going to help you get a lot more wins. Appreciate you guys watching this video. As always, keep it spicy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.